Hello and what is going on, everybody? This is Marcus and we are back with another episode of Mark Us on Top. As you can see on the screen, we will be using a different team today, as I already announced in the previous episode. Today we will jump from one team that did well at European Regionals right to another, as we will be using the team that Eloy used to get second place at the most recent European Regional, the ECC in Arnhem. So he got second place here with this team, and as you can see, it is a Kyogre Rayquaza team, so yeah, not too special you would think. But if you look a little bit closer, you also see the Kangaskhan, so there is that dual mega option in Rayquaza and Kangaskhan. But as we will head into the battle, you will also realize some more interesting tricks about this team. So Eloy, in case you're not familiar with him, is one of the most consistent VGC players in Germany, and yeah, in Europe in general, I would think. I will tell a little bit about his story because I think it's definitely an interesting one. So in case you do not know him or you want to follow his journey, I don't know, just give him a follow on Twitter. I will link his handle in the description. So first game of the day will be against Ruby from Japan, I think, with a rating just over the 1600s. And this is a team that is very, very similar to what Sean used to get second place at the St. Louis Regional. However, we do see the Clefairy here instead of the Clefairy that Sean was using. I hope you get to catch that stream, as it was really nice and really enjoyable. So let's see what we can do here. I don't want to spoil the big surprise about this team yet. But what did Eloy tell me to do here? I think he said like Kangaskhan and Kyogre lead. And then have Rayquaza and Talonflame in the back. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, Eloy started playing VGC I think in 2012, and he managed to get to Worlds. He was a senior back then, and he used some obscure stuff like, I don't know, Hypnosis, Gengar, and people were not really taking him too serious, as yeah, you know, like Hypnosis, Gengar and seniors, and he barely made it, so everyone was like, yeah, like, cool, like, we hung out together on Hawaii, which is where Worlds was that year, so that was cool and stuff, but to be honest, I don't think anyone expected him to be back at Worlds. However, then next year, in 2013, he really continued with what he had started the year before, where he got to the finals of the Italian National Championship in the Masters division against Matteo Gini, with some more, I don't know, interesting EV spreads, I would say, most notably in the finals, his Hydreigon actually speed-tying Matteo's Breloom. So yeah, I don't know, he's kind of known for, I don't know, sometimes screwing up with EVs a little bit, and I don't know, but he managed to qualify for Worlds that year. He managed to qualify for Worlds again and again, and yeah, now he got second place again, so I think he played 4 World Championships, which is quite the achievement. We will just go ahead and go for... Oh, no Water Spout. We go for the Fake Out on the Talonflame and the Water Spout. So, as you can see here, this Kyogre is not Primal, but in fact it is Choice Scarf. And when I saw this, I knew that we definitely had to try it out, because of course we had already featured we already featured Choice Scarf Kyogre on this channel, so I definitely felt like we had to feature that here. And this first turn actually just goes really perfectly. But we went with the Origin Pulse and not the Water Spout that I wanted to go for, but we double hit here, funnily enough. So yeah, I wanted to go for the Water Spout. We're once again talking a little bit too much about Eloy's success. And yeah, thanks a lot, by the way, to Eloy for giving me his team right here. And yeah, I will also link the video of his final set against Conti. By the way, also congratulations to Conti for winning that regional, of course. I will link that in the description below. Unfortunately, Eloy lost that game, but it was pretty exciting for me to watch, and I thought that was a really nice set. So anyway, we do see, I don't know, like, just look at our field. We do have plain Kangaskhan, and we do have, like, plain Kyogre. I don't know, I think this just looks so interesting, and this team is just, I don't know, fun to use, and yeah, our opponent sends out their Groudon right there, but thanks to the Rayquaza we have in the back, we can just pretty safely switch into that and go for the Origin Pulse. As long as we connect, of course, we should be able to KO that Groudon as well as the Kangaskhan. So Origin Pulse misses the Groudon, but hits the Kangaskhan at least. Okay, so that is fine. Because, yeah, Kyogre should be able to take any hit coming out from that Groudon. But, yeah, I don't know, Choice Scarf Groudon really proving to be a solid choice in this meta. Second place at Regional, nothing to joke about. And, yeah, also that first turn just, I don't know, played out perfectly. We do have the inner focus on Kangaskhan, and just a piece of advice that Eloy gave me anyway was not to always Mega Evolve Kangaskhan right off the bat, because sometimes it is better to Mega Evolve your Rayquaza, so I don't know, that just worked really well. So our opponent sends out Smirgle right here, and thinking about... we could Mega Evolve here to get rid of the Sun and then switch out Kyogre to bring it back out later. Or we could also Mega Evolve our Kangaskhan to KO him with a potential Focus Sash. I will just protect and go for the Urchin Pulse just to scout out a little bit what his Smirgle decides to go for. I don't know, maybe he has White Guard, maybe he has just Fake Out or Dark Void, but actually nope. Nothing really coming out here. Origin Pulse will just go ahead and pick up the KO on his Groudon and bring his Smirgle down to Focus Sash. So that was a very, very quick first game, though our rating has dropped a little bit, as, I don't know, I played like, I don't know why, but in the last few days I played like a lot of games on BattleSpot during the night, and I don't know, I have like some router or like Wi-Fi issues from time to time, and in the night for whatever reason, and then it will just shut off, but that is not really the reasoning behind my lack of points right now, as I don't know, I just fooled around a little bit with some more teams. But now that we have Eloy's serious team, we can definitely go ahead and pick some quick wins, just like here. And if the second game would also be that quick, we could actually fit in 3 games in this episode, I think. So, good game to Ruby, and I don't know, Choice Scarf Kyogre really proving to be very valuable here in this game. Though, yeah, like, of course, that also comes at a cost. I mean, obviously, Groudon being able to just block any move is a little bit frustrating from time to time, but I guess Primal Kyogre also has that problem, so I don't know. I already used Choice Scarf Kyogre. I know that it can be really great, and yeah, Eloy definitely made it work, and I'm really glad to see it having some success. So the other members are mainly there to kind of support the Scarf Kyogre a little bit. We do have the Talonflame coming in there with a Quick Guard, block any Fake Outs, for example. As we're seeing Steelix, wow, what is happening here? Coming from Yuri from Italy, with also just above the 1600s. So we do have the Talonflame, it has the Quick Guard and also potentially Tailwind support. We do see the Landorus for Intimidate, Rayquaza obviously there with the Airlock, Kangaskhan with the Fake Out, and Aegislash with the White Guard, so that is kind of the support squad for that Kyogre. And seeing a Kyogre here in Team Preview just makes me want to lead with Kyogre, because there's not really too much my opponent can do to prevent me just from going for a Water Spout, especially if we pair it up with that Talonflame to block a potential Quick Guard coming out from the Lopunny, while also threatening like Brave Bird onto his Amoonguss. So I really like Talonflame and Kyogre here. Now let's see what else can we do. I do think Aegislash could make an appearance here, just because it is able to block any spread moves coming out from the Salamence, for example, or the Kyogre, or even the Xerneas with White Guard, and we also do have Gyro Ball to just one-hit KO the Xerneas. An interesting adjustment Eloy made to his team was actually using a Macho Brace on his Aegislash to make it like very slow and to increase Gyro Ball's power to make sure it always KOs Xerneas. Now I'm not entirely sure how good I think that is, because you can just go with the Life Orb, I think, but he had Life Orb and Talonflame, so that item was taken, and he felt like he wanted to go with that Macho Brace. I do think even something like Metal Coat probably would have done the trick there, but I don't know, Macho Brace definitely really interesting, and I didn't really like theory this item too much, and I've never seen it before in an Aegislash, so I guess yeah, there's certainly some logic behind it, and he managed to pilot this team to the second place finish at the regional. So my opponent is just leading here with Salamence and Lopunny, and we do not know which of those two he wants to Mega Evolve. I mean, Salamence probably is the more likely Mon to Mega Evolve, because Lopunny, even without the Mega Stone, it has some interesting options to disrupt your opponent. Like, it has the Klutz ability, so you could like play any item and go for a switcheroo to trick around stuff. You have Fake Out, of course, you have Encore, so all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I'm actually expecting that Fake Out just to come in here. And our opponent did see that our Kyogre is Choice Scarf if we paid attention to when the abilities activated, because of course Drizzle went before the Intimidate, so I actually just want to go for a Water Spout here instead of the Ice Beam. But let's see here, our opponent is going for the Mega Evolution. So maybe he did not really see this coming, but okay, there is the Protect. Okay, good. So we will go for that Quick Guard, and what could you even see coming out from the Lopunny? I mean, probably, yeah, I mean, Fake Out plus Protect wouldn't make too much sense here, so I'm guessing this is maybe Focus Sash? No, it's not. With a critical hit here, Lopunny actually just fainting, so that is really nice, of course. As we do get the next KO with that Choice Scarf Kyogre, and things are looking pretty decent, as my opponent sends out Xerneas. Now, he could go ahead and set up Geomancy. We do have Aegislash in the back. So, since his Salamence protected last turn, we could actually go ahead and just Brave Bird his Salamence, while also going for another Water Spout. I don't think that should knock it out, but it would definitely come close and definitely bring it into like extreme KO range. However, we also really have to care about that Xerneas, so I do think I want to play Think Safe and go for the Brave Bird onto the Xerneas. Even if it protects right here, which is certainly a possibility, we should be able to deal a little bit of damage to the Salamence, and then, I don't know, next turn we can just focus more on the Xerneas, but he does not opt to go for the Protect here, which will mean that we will get off this full-powered Water Spout, and that should probably even knock out the Xerneas. As it does, wow. And also dealing so much damage to the Salamence, even though it's resisted, though. That is probably naive. Yeah, you realized? I'm learning. So he goes for the Double Edge onto the Kyogre, and with that recoil damage, I think another Water Spout might actually just knock that out as well. Our last, the last opponent's Pokemon is actually going to be their own Kyogre in primal form. But we don't mind that too much, and you could just see here Talonflame and Kyogre really sweeping through this team. I mean, well, Lopunny, I'm not entirely sure how viable it is, just fainted turn 1 there, but if you don't have a good answer for those Water Spouts, especially when you're like paired up with the Talonflame, and you never know, like even if you have your Ferrothorn or a Moongus, there could also be like the Flare Blitz coming out, the Brave Bird, so very good offensive duo that Eloy crafted here. And, yeah, we do have Rayquaza in the back, so I just want to Brave Bird into his Kyogre just to deal as much damage as possible right here. Also notably, the lack of Thunder here on this Kyogre. We've seen it before on Parangon's Choice Scarf Kyogre, but yeah, Eloy also opted to go for the Hydro Pump as his last slot. I didn't put in too much thought about what would actually be the best moveset, because you're, like, most of the time you're just going for Water Spouts anyway. And yeah, since you're leading Kyogre most of the time too, I don't know, like, you just click Water Spout and at some point you faint. But yeah, if you already took damage, or if you expect to take some damage from like a priority attack, then you can just lock yourself into Urgent Pulse, and sometimes Ice Beam to catch yeah, like Groudons on the switch in, or to catch Salamences off guard. But I don't really know like when you would use Thunder, though in some situations it might be helpful, in some situations just going for the Hydro Pump might be the better play, if you know all the damage clocks, which I unfortunately don't. But yeah, so I don't know, I'm not really sure if that is like the best moveset, but I don't really think it matters all too much. So his Salamence protected last turn, we can just go for the Shadow Ball here on the Kyogre. We still have the option to Mega Evolve, so we will get rid of the Rain, Extreme Speed the Salamence for the KO, and even if he got the Double Protect, we do have the Focus Sash, and we do get the Delta Streams up here, the Strong Winds, so our Rayquaza should be able to take an Ice Beam anyway. But let's see if my opponent makes the play here and goes for the Double Protect, which I think, I don't know, like it's his only chance to like get the Double Protect and then probably freeze me with the Ice Beam. But nope, Extreme Speed just KOing his Salamence right there. And Ice Beam, let's see how much that will do. Yeah, it doesn't bring me down to Focus Sash. So another play I could have made was probably to just Dragon Ascend the Kyogre and Shadow Ball into the Salamence to make sure that that potential Double Protect and Ice Beam Freeze couldn't cost us the game. Let's think a little bit. Yeah, I don't think there would be any move with which his Salamence could have KO'd my Aegislash, so I think going for the Shadow Ball and the Dragon Ascent probably would have been the safer play, so to speak. That is also, like, if you're, something that was touched on the stream a little bit in a discussion between Shady and Ray at some point, if you watched the Pokemon Regional stream, like, sometimes if you're in a disadvantage, you have to play as if all the hacks happened, like, all the getting, like, luck would happen, and then you have to think about a way, so, okay, like, if I get this Double Protect, and then I also get this Freeze, for example, with Ice Beam, and then you do have, like, the chance to still win this battle. So if you're, like, really far behind, or if you think that you're, like, basically lost the game, maybe some lucky moments here and there could bail you out, and even if it doesn't work, I don't know, you took your chances, you played down your odds, and yeah, that is definitely what you should do. So we will actually go for a third battle in this episode, because those first two victories just went by so quick. Let's check how much time did that actually take. Only like 60 minutes. Yeah, I'll play one more, so that we can really see the beauty of Choice Scarf Kyogre once again. So next opponent, also from Japan, rating 1704 with the big 6 coming out. So this will definitely be an interesting encounter. Eloy told me a little bit about what he would do against the big 6, though he also said that oftentimes it will just be like 50-50s, because it is really difficult to have like a very good matchup against them. I mean, we have seen that, like, what Parangon would do with his team is like lead Latias and Landorus and then just go for the Tailwind and Explosion at some point. And then if you have like Rayquaza and Kyogre next to each other in Tailwind, then you probably just win the game. But yeah, if your opponent is aware of that and we don't have like a Lumberry in this team or anything to block the Dark Voids and so on, then it can be really difficult. So we could lead with Landorus and Talonflame and go for like a similar strategy. But if our opponent, I don't know, had Smeargle and put us to sleep, and then he could just stall out Tailwind, and it probably wouldn't work as well. So Eloy said, yeah, leading Kangaskhan Kyogre, kind of what we just did earlier, could really help there. And then bring Rayquaza and Talonflame in the back. So yeah, Landorus, also a pretty nice mon, as well as Aegislash with that Gyro Ball to specifically counter Xerneas, also can really help here. But maybe like a Lumberry, for example, on the Aegislash would help here a little bit more against the Smeargle and Xerneas. But even then, Smeargle can just follow me away any attacks, and yeah, so even for a very bulky Steel type like Aegislash, it can be difficult to take on that Xerneas. So, but yeah, let's see what will happen in this game. I mean, in the first game we just went for that inner focus fake out on the Talonflame, and it worked out perfectly. But we're actually going to face that Smeargle plus Xerneas lead. Nice. Okay, so another lead that Eloy also told me about was actually Kangaskhan and Rayquaza, kind of a throwback to 2010, where that specific lead duo won US Nationals. Yeah, but we didn't go for that here. I think I want to try that out, and probably the next time we face the Big 6, as we will continue using this team at least a little bit. So, even though it's pretty obvious that he will go for the Protect here with his Smeargle, I guess we will just go for the Fake Out no matter what. Eloy's Kangaskhan is actually built to outspeed Smeargle by 1 point, to make sure that he can safely stay here in non-Mega form. And then, yeah, like, if he feels like he has to go for it, he can always Mega anyway. And if he feels like Rayquaza is the better Mon to Mega, then he will just Mega Rayquaza. So yeah, that is kind of the thought process between the 140 speed stat that he put on his Kangaskhan. We do see the very cautious play, go for the double protect right there. A good play definitely, as we will just take some spiky shield damage, and he gets the chance to go for a moody roll. Accuracy actually rises here and defense drops. So now the mind games begin, because there's obviously the potential for a Groudon switch in right here in the Smeargle slot. Something else he could have is White Guard to block block our Water Spout. Or thanks to the accuracy raise, he could also just go for the Dark Void. So a lot of stuff to consider, and I think we want to go for the Mega Evolution right there because we want to make sure to knock out the Smeargle through the Focus Sash. And his Xerneas probably going for that Geomancy. So I think I will actually switch out into Talonflame. Or into Ray. I think we want to switch into Talonflame. Because I do believe that we might see the White Guard right there, so we can conserve our Kyogre just a little bit longer, and then potentially set up a Tailwind with Talonflame. Though if we manage to KO his Smeargle right there, I think chances that his Kangaskhan will come in there, threatening Fake Out on the Talonflame and Moonblast to knock out our Kangaskhan. And yep, there is the White Guard, so that was not really too much of a point in staying in with that Kyogre. Another play we could have made was also just to double edge into the Xerneas to threaten a KO with Brave Bird from the Talonflame. But yeah, double edge doesn't KO, and then Smeargle is still around. He could get some moody boosts, like you probably saw on the stream in the semi-final, where Smeargle just stayed around for a little bit too long. And then yeah, if you get those moody rolls, there's just nothing your opponent can do sometimes. So yeah, I want to get rid of Smeargle as soon as possible right there, and yeah, just not take the chances. So he will probably just send out Kangaskhan right there, and then he has the play available that is just faking out the Talonflame and Moonblasting the Kangaskhan for the one-hit KO. So we will need to come up with something here. So yeah, even though we get rid of the Smeargle, yeah, like his Xerneas being boosted by Geomancy is definitely very, very troublesome, and I'm sure if you play any VGC, you have, yeah, played in this specific situation more than once. But he actually sends out Talonflame, interestingly enough. Now, something that is also interesting to note is that the Talonflame of Eloy is actually jolly to make sure that he will always get off those Brave Birds against opposing Talonflames, unless they go for that Quick Guard, of course. But that is actually pretty interesting. I was thinking Kangaskhan would come in there for sure to go for the Fake Out on Talonflame and Moonblast on the Kangaskhan. But it looks like my opponent had something different in mind. So now the question is, what do we do with Kangaskhan? I mean, we could just go for the Sucker Punch probably. Or just low kick, double edge him in case he goes for anything but the Moonblast. I mean, Sucker Punch does some like chip damage to Xerneas, but I think if we want to make something work here, yeah, we can't risk going for something like that. And because yeah, if we went for the Sucker Punch and he went for the Dazzling Gleam and Brave Bird, then we would just lose everything without doing too much. But yeah, he actually went for the Quick Guard, probably not predicting the Sucker Punch but the Brave Bird. However, yeah, thanks to our Tailwind coming out right here, we actually managed to outspeed his Xerneas right now with our Kyogre, if we wanted to do that. Or we could also send in Rayquaza and then we would still be slower. We can't Mega Evolve, unfortunately, so yeah, I think going for a Kyogre is probably what we want to do here. Water Spout on a +2 Xerneas won't do too much damage, but I think there's the potential that he goes for the Brave Bird onto our Kyogre anyway, so we'll not even bother going for the Water Spout, but the Origin Pulse instead. And then also just the Brave Bird into Xerneas, just to see how it'll work out. So maybe our opponent didn't bring a Mega and has Groudon in the back. Now would probably be the time to switch it in. But you never know. So Xerneas actually goes for the Protect here. Yeah, cautious play as we doubled into that, so yeah, that was definitely good for my opponent. And he matches the Tailwind right there, so another good play. Even though your Xerneas is already at +2 speed, our Scarf Kyogre is still outspeeding that, so you want to make sure that you get as fast as possible. And he risks, or he basically sacrifices Talonflame right there to do that job, but I think that is just fine right here, because now he will have most likely Kangaskhan, or maybe it's Salamence. Maybe he brought Salamence as his Mega, as that is also doing really well against those Kyogre and Rayquaza team, but it will be that Kangaskhan, so yeah, I'm not really sure why he sent out the Talonflame earlier. I think Kangaskhan and then just Fake Out and Moonblast gives you, puts you in a really good spot. But then, yeah, I mean, I would have probably gone for the Quick Guard with Talonflame, but our Kangaskhan would have gone down to that Moonblast, as we saw already. So, yeah, I don't really know. But, okay, so Kyogre will be outspeeding his Kangaskhan at least. However, his Xerneas will hit us first and potentially will go for a Moonblast to just knock us out. But I feel like we have to go for the Brave Bird over the Quick Guard right here. Because... Actually, let's hit the Kangaskhan. Because if he goes for a Dazzling Gleam here with his Xerneas instead of the Moonblast, then Origin Pulse plus Brave Bird would KO us, but he just goes for the Fake Out. Okay, so he went for the Fake Out, and yeah, maybe Quick Guard was the play after all. But let's see. Okay, yeah, he goes for the Moonblast. Good play here. And yeah, since our Kyogre does not have the increased special defense, I think that actually has a chance of KOing if he was max special attack. But maybe we got lucky there. Or like, yeah, but though we survive on 28, yeah. Yeah, I guess Kyogre probably lives that even without the special defense increase. So, we're down, he's down to his last 2 mons, and rain is actually over, which is not something you see too often, but yeah, since we set it up with Drizzle, it didn't really make it too far. So, Tailwind is still up for both sides, so I think we can go for the Brave Bird on his Kangaskhan to knock him out. And then we have Sash Rayquaza in the back to take this game. Yeah, Tailwind is up on both sides, so even if he went for the Sucker Punch, we will still outspeed him. And then we do have Sash Ray in the back, and Dragon Ascent plus Extreme Speed should be enough to give us this game. So let's see what he goes for. I'm guessing, yeah, Dazzling Gleam will knock out both our mons, but Rayquaza in the back, thanks to that Focus Sash. Man, that was a pretty nice game. Kyogre really doing some work once again. Locking into Origin Pulse was definitely the right choice after all. And yeah, we could have gone for the Quick Guard versus the Fake Out, but yeah, I think going for what we did, the Brave Bird and Origin Pulse, was the right play to make. Though he could have gone for a Sucker Punch and Moonblast on our Kyogre for the knockout, or maybe even Sucker Punch and Dazzling Gleam. But yeah, that didn't happen, and we managed to take down the big 6 right here. Rayquaza unfortunately cannot Mega, but I do think that this should still be enough to take the game. Maybe our opponent thinks that he has it in the back, though maybe he also knows that what is coming right here. As yeah, with that Sword Dance, you definitely want to have the Focus Sash, so you can set up Sword Dance at some point, and then yeah, like still be guaranteed to survive a turn. And yeah, especially also like regular Ray needs the Focus Sash, because without the Delta Winds or the Strong Winds, you don't have like the you can take an Ice Beam or something like that. So Focus Sash really definitely the right item there, and Dragon Ascent plus Extreme Speed will give us this victory. And 1 HP Ray surviving this battle. It was waiting in the back, and then it came out in the right time, and yeah, it was his time to shine, and he definitely shined there. So, what a good game. Once again, really nice episode, though we were also kind of really sweeping through those 3 teams. And something very interesting, or something that I think is very good to note, is the comment of the day coming out from Tom. As he said that he learned quite a bit from those losses we suffered in the last episode, where we used Yuri's team, where, yeah, that kind of that iffy ground matchup just really prevented us from getting anywhere. And he says that sometimes you can learn a lot from your losses as well, and I definitely agreed there. I mean, from this series, sure, you could see like the power of Choice Scarf Kyogre and probably like what you lead and so on, but we didn't really face like the tough matchups. Like, we didn't face those Ferrothorns, for example, or I don't know, like tough matchups. Like Trick Room is really tough for this team to deal with, because all mons except for the Aegislash are fast. But yeah, so I said this again. I said this already, but if you have a problem with a certain team archetype, then use it yourself, and then check out what are the weaknesses. What does the team lose to? So yeah, that'll be it for today's episode of Marcus on Top. If you liked what you saw, make sure to leave a like on the video. Follow Eloy on Twitter. Once again, it'll be in the description as well as to the final games of that regional. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.